thank all of you for joining us here this afternoon to celebrate our mother's going home. I suppose that if I had to pick a word to best describe mother, it would be unique. Now, it's true that the Lord made us all unique in our own special way, but mother was really unique. Mom deserves that characterization for a number of reasons. Name another who still enjoyed ice skating at the age of 80. Or name another
85.
who still coasted downhill on a sled at 85. Or name another who caught a lot of fish at the age of 90. Or who still tended a garden in her 98th year. Unique? Yes, indeed. She was so much a part of what Tom Brokaw called the greatest generation. She and Dad were married in 1932. Not a particularly auspicious year to begin a life together. They tried to scratch out a living on a little farm down southwest of town. That was a tough struggle since most of those years in the 30s were marked by too many chinch bugs and not enough rain. But in 1938, Dad landed the job at the post office and we moved to town. The lady left the farm, but the farm did not leave the lady. More about that in a moment. By 1944, Mother had borne 6 children, and the nation was deeply mired in the Second World War. The military needed every man it could find, so Dad enlisted in the Navy. He, like so many others, were off to win the war and left the moms to care for the family. Ken was 11 years old, Jerry was all of 5 months, and the rest of us were somewhere in between. I really don't recall things being bad at all during those years. But as I grew up and raised my own children, over time I began to realize what a monumental task that must have been for Mother. While I presume there was enough money to get by on, the rationing of so many things made life very difficult. The moms of the time were heroes just as much, in many respects, as the fighting men. Cooking and gardening and tending to her family were always high on Mom's list. And she took great pride in her accomplishments in these areas. Some time back I was helping her in preparing the Sunday dinner at her home. She was instructing me to add some thickening to the gravy to get just the perfect consistency. She then decided to make a little more gravy, so she put some more water in it. Trying to be helpful, I said, now Mom, will we have to put some more thickening in it? She turned to me and very indignantly said, I'm 95 years old and nobody needs to tell me how to make gravy. In her last few weeks at Fair Oaks, her mind began playing tricks on her and she became quite delusional at times. But even in that state, her mind was still on her family, cooking in her garden. The last day I was with her, she insisted she was going to make me some pancakes for supper. She said there were some chicken wings in the fridge and she'd fix them up. And she thought maybe there was a few leftover boiled potatoes. She'd fry them up for me too. When I said she was not in any condition to be doing any cooking, she again became quite indignant and said, now Stan, don't you be stubborn. I'm going to cook you those pancakes. When the weather permitted, she very much enjoyed being wheeled out into the courtyard at the nursing home. Last fall, when the weather was nice, we did that a good deal. About 2 weeks ago, I wheeled her to the door where she could look out into the courtyard, but it was too cold to go outside. So we were sitting there, and she was looking outside, and she said, she pointed out there and said, you see those 3 rows of lettuce I planted out there? I think it was another of her increasingly frequent delusions. I said, now Mom, there's no lettuce out there. So I turned around and started to roll her out towards the room, and she said, well, if you were half as much a farmer as I am, you'd know Gladys when you see me. Turned out the joke was on me, though. Because the next day I mentioned that conversation to Ken, and he said, yeah, she and I went out there last week and planted some. So the next time I was there, I went out there, and sure enough, in one of the planter boxes, there were 3 rows of lettuce about that long. The lettuce was
Can you tell lettuce now?
Some thoughts that Mother had shared with a friend, which say so much about her approach to life. Happiness is that feeling you acquire when you're too busy to feel miserable. It takes both rain and sunshine to make a rainbow. The secret of happiness is not in doing what one likes to do, but in liking what one has to do. You can share something with everyone you meet every day, your smile. And part of a poem written by one of her granddaughters when Mom went into the nursing home. I thank you, dear Grandma, for what you have made, your life and your love, the foundation you've laid. Supporting and loving a family so strong, you made us your mission. How could we go wrong? I write you these words and wish to give more. Dear Grandma, my grandma, it's you I adore. And so with these and 1,000 other thoughts tucked into our minds, we bid farewell for just a while to a very unique lady, our mother.